So excited to have you all here. Like I shared, my name is Krystle. I'm the program director for the UNC Charlotte Meeting and Event Planning Program. So welcome to those of you joining us live. Excited to get started and share some information about our program. So for those whom it may be helpful to have a visual description, I'm a white woman with blonde hair, wearing glasses, and a light green blouse. Behind me is a virtual background featuring a view of UNC Charlotte's campus with a clock tower and trees. To promote an inclusive and accessible experience, we have enabled several features to help with your participation. So if you so choose, you can turn on live captioning at the bottom of your screen. We are also, as you know, recording the video. So video recording with captions are going to be emailed to all of you, whether you're attending live or if you just signed up to attend and weren't able to make it live. And we can also provide a full transcript upon request. Any slides that I have shared, we're going to be sharing those as well, and those can be made in an accessible format. If you have any tech support issues, feel free to use that chat box. I can certainly try my best to help you out. And throughout our time together, I will be monitoring the chat box as well as that Q&A box. So please feel free to ask any questions that you have. I hope to answer a lot of them live or honestly already prepared in the slideshow, but I want this to be as interactive as possible. So again, please feel free to ask your questions whenever you have them. I will try my best to answer them live. So let's get started. All right. So I just wanted to go over what we'll be covering first. I'm actually going to start the program with asking you all a question. So we've got a short poll at the beginning, and then I will also cover information about the events industry itself, what the job market is looking like, as well as information about our program, some frequently asked questions, and then of course a live Q&A as well. So again, ask your questions as they come to you. If there's anything that comes up after, please don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information will be shared at the end, and of course, I'm always happy to help. So, like I said, I do want to start things off by doing a poll question. So, for those of you familiar with Zoom, there is an option that should pop up right now for you. So first poll question, I'm curious for all of you joining live, what best describes your experience with events or hospitality? So it can be new to the industry, have informal experience, you're currently working in the event planning industry, or you're working in a related field like hospitality, hotel, venue, catering, things like that. So I do see a lot of great answers coming in. And actually, we do have, it's multiple choice. You can select more than one answer if more than one answer applies. So we've got, it looks like a majority have done it informally, which is pretty common. A lot of our students have planned events for friends and family members. They're wanting to formalize that experience. So you're in good company there. And then it looks like it's pretty evenly split. I'm going to end that poll so you can hopefully see the results. Looks like it's evenly split between new to the industry, currently working in the event planning industry, and then also working in a related field. So again, a lot of people having informal experience, some who are new, others who are wanting, who are already in the industry, and then others who are working in an adjacent industry. So thank you. That honestly does help inform what I cover tonight. I want to also, as you can see on the screen, I have some more questions. So I'm going to launch that right now. Curious, what areas of event planning or hospitality are you most interested in? That can be, again, this is multiple choice. So if you have many different things you're interested in, you can list that. But we've got corporate, weddings, social events. We've also got hotels and hospitality, special event design and production, event marketing. We also have fundraising, large scale events, hybrid and virtual events, starting my own event planning business. And then we also have a still exploring or other. So we are seeing a lot under corporate events. So that's very cool. That's really exciting. Weddings and social events are very high up there as well. No worries. Thank you, Melissa, for letting me know. So Melissa in the chat shared she's working in the industry and special events, corporate events is what she's interested in. So I'm going to share out these results for you all as well. Melissa, you're in good company. Corporate and social events are the top events that people are interested in. And then special event design, marketing, fundraising, all that fun stuff. So excited to have you here. We're going to dive into those specific topics a little bit, but honestly, those are all the topics that we cover as part of our program. One more question, and then we'll keep it moving. But just curious, what kind of event planning skills you're most interested in developing as you come into this information session. And this again is a multiple choice one. Hopefully, I'm not like polling. Hopefully, you don't get polling fatigue. This is the bulk of our polls here, but I just wanted to get a gauge of what your interests are. That way I know what to focus on tonight. So, okay, very cool. So I'm gonna end that poll. Sorry if you didn't get to participate, but I did want to share out our results. But looks like event design, production, and logistics is something that a lot of people are interested in developing. Budgeting, contracts, and risk management, that's a big one. Marketing, sales, client communication, as well as strategy and business operations. So very cool. And you know what? There are some still exploring or not sure yet. That's okay. We've all been there before, and this is a great place to start. So I'll do one more quick poll here. And, oh, I forgot to stop sharing. There we go. This is what happens when you try to DIY things. Okay, so final one. This is your only one choice. What are you hoping to get out of tonight's session? Do you want to understand how the program works? Do you want to clarify time or attendance expectations, learn about cost or enrollment, or whether or not the program's the right fit for you? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of answers coming in. This is awesome. Okay. Very nice. So, yeah, a lot of you are just wanting to understand how the program works. Want to see if it's a good fit for you. And then we do have some who are interested in learning more about the time commitment, attendance expectations, and then how to enroll and the costs. So thank you all for playing along. That was fun. I got to learn a lot about you in a short amount of time. And honestly, I hope to use it to help inform our conversation tonight. So thanks for doing that. And I have a question in the chat here, and I'll dive into our different topics covered, but somebody asked, would this course be useful to aspiring wedding planners? And I would say definitely. We actually have a full course itself on the business of wedding planning. So if you are interested in being a wedding planner, this would be a great program for you because it not only covers the weddings, but it also covers the business side. So I'll definitely dive into that more as I go through these different slides. And actually, coincidentally, this slide is showing who our program has been designed for. So our program has been specifically crafted for individuals in the events and hospitality sectors. So whether you're already a part of the industry or wanting to enter, this could be a great place for you. So our target audience includes hospitality professionals, special event coordinators, aspiring event business owners, wedding planners, designs and assistants. We've got something for executive assistants, anyone in a profession associated, related to service or hospitality, as well as career changers. So again, like I shared, we do have a lot of students each year who are entering the field for the first time. And that could be either right out of high school or after a career in another field. So you're in good company if you're a career changer here. And then we also have students who come in who are wanting to formalize their experience. So I know that came up as well. There's a lot of you who you've done informal planning, social events for friends and family, and you just kind of want to formalize that experience with some education. So our program can help you there. We accommodate all experience levels, so newcomers as well as seasoned experts. The program itself, and when I say program, it's 11 courses, but each course is kind of all developed at the same level. It's can be basic to intermediate levels, so it's really ideal for those aiming to establish those foundational skills in the industry. However, for those already in the industry, our program can help you gain new insights to learn about new industry trends, event software, recent advancements, and best practices. Another thing I wanted to share is our program offers continuing education units. We offer 8 CEUs as part of our program, which for those in the industry wanting to get certified, this is pretty valuable because it will fulfill the educational requirement for certifications if you so choose. So I did want to give you all an overview of the industry. So according to ONET, which is the primary source of occupational data from the U.S. Department of Labor, the future for meeting, convention, and event planners appears to be very promising. It is a growing field. So the industry is anticipated to experience significant growth, with job opportunities expected to rise by 8% from now until 2032, which is faster, much faster than the average amongst other professions. So in summary, the outlook is very bright, and there are opportunities for event planning across many different sectors. So corporate, nonprofit, social, hospitality, there are opportunities for you there. So going back to our program now, as part of our program, you'll cultivate some essential skills that'll help you in the event planning industry. So if you choose to complete the full certificate, you'll enhance your abilities to plan, organize, and manage projects. You'll also enhance your abilities to communicate, negotiate, and lead, as well as budgeting, contracts, and risk awareness and mitigation, as well as event technology and virtual events or virtual delivery. So those are just some of the skills you'll develop, but there are many, many more that you'll also develop as part of our program. So I know from talking with past students, a lot of students have explored this program previously. You may have gone to a few information sessions before. I hear a lot of that where people have been watching our program for a while and then finally commit. So you have attended an information session in the past, you'll notice the most significant change for the program is in the enrollment process. So for this spring, we actually are allowing students the opportunity to enroll in individual courses. So in the past, it was kind of an all or nothing deal where you were required to commit to the full certificate, the full 11 courses. You had to commit to that. Unfortunately, for those who weren't able to commit or attend the entire program, participation wasn't an option. So we made the decision to switch to individual courses to really help with those people who couldn't attend. So I'm excited to offer this to you all now. Now you have the flexibility to enroll in those individual courses and work towards earning your certificate. So this allows you to take a few courses at a time rather than having to commit to all of them at once. So if your goal is to complete the full certificate, you still can do that. And actually, there is a benefit to do that with a 15% bundle. But again, if you prefer to start with a few courses or space them out, you can definitely do that. So excited to share that change, and excited to see how it may benefit you all as prospective students. So I did want to go over what learning looks like in the program. This hasn't really changed. You are still going to be having these live instructor-led Zoom sessions, so very similar to how we're conducting this information session. This is exactly how you'd sign in for class. The only thing is you'd actually see all your other classmates on here. And then you'd also have the instructor there. So classes take place in Zoom on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our program has been designed for working professionals, specifically tailored to you. We also have assignments where not only are you going to be learning from your instructors in the Zoom classes, you're actually going to be applying what you're learning. So there are assignments where you're going to be able to have some application there. Our courses are offered on an annual basis. And then for those who are interested and available, we also do some in-person behind the scenes tours. So previously, we've organized a guided group tour at the Grand Bohemian Hotel, the Charlotte Convention Center, and actually, they're so kind to us. They've done it for us for a couple years now. Gives students a great opportunity to kind of see the inner workings of venue, special event space, as well as a hotel, and really build connections. And it's also really cool after being in virtual classes to meet in person, have the students meet one another, have me meet them. So really cool opportunity for those who can attend. Totally optional. It's not required. That way, our program can still be considered 100% online. But for those who want that little taste of in person, we do have that. So there is a question here. Yes, Erica, thank you for asking that. And I'll dive into more specifics about what is required. But yes, Erica asked, do you need to attend both sessions on Tuesday and Thursday of each class? You do. And that is just because there's no way to make up that time. But again, if you're not available for 11 weeks in a row, Tuesday, Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m., you can take a few courses this year and then come back and finish next year. So I'll dive in actually in a few slides. You read my mind, Erica. I'll dive in about the specifics of requirements in just a little bit here. But to earn your certificate, that's where those 11 courses come in. So there are 5 required core courses. Those are really foundational. We also have elective courses. So from those electives, you're supposed to choose 5 out of 6. And then we also have a practicum. I'll dive in the next few slides on exactly what all of that is, but you're not required to select all your courses at once. Again, doing so will save you 15%, but if you're not sure where to start, you're not sure what'll work for your schedule, our enrollment specialists are really amazing and they can help you plan your educational journey. So definitely encourage you to speak with them just to see what might fit for you. So I did share the core classes are outlined on the screen right now. Those are 5 really classes that really help you establish a strong foundation in the events industry. So our first class that we kick off, it is a communication and sales strategy class. That is something where we go over communication styles. So not only different people's communication styles, but also your own. So for anybody, if you've heard of the DISC, D-I-S-C, DISC assessment, you'll do that. It'll help you both professionally and personally. I learned a lot about myself from the DISC assessment, but it will also prepare you for entering the field of event planning if you're not already in there, to help you if you want to be a small business owner. It'll help you kind of pitch what you offer. It can help you in communicating with potential clients, all of that stuff. Don't want to go in too much depth. All of the details about each course is on our website, but that's a great course. Then we dive into strategic meeting and event management. That's going to be really focused on the corporate side of things. So it covers SMART goals, things like that to help you be a really effective event planner. Then maybe most importantly, but pretty important, risk management, contingency planning, and contracts. That is something where a lot of students are like, I need to learn more about that. It's a great class. It's really going to equip you with the tools you need to help protect yourself and protect events. And then the fun part, designing special events. So we'll go over event design, attendee experience, all of that kind of stuff, as well as finally, as part of that core course, is marketing or branding yourself or branding your event. So those are those 5 required courses. And then our electives, we offer 6 different electives. You only have to choose 5 though. So these are more niche, specialized subjects. So we have a hotel operations class designed for event planners as well as those in hospitality to kind of help both sides see one another. So if you work at a hotel and you want to understand event planners better, that's a great class for you, and vice versa. If you're an event planner and you want to understand how a hotel operates and works a little more, this is a good class for that. We also have planning virtual and hybrid events and event technology, large scale experiences, conferences, community festivals, a lot of that going on nowadays. So we did add in that class. We've also got fundraising and nonprofit event planning, wedding planning. And that again is focused kind of on the business behind being a wedding planner. And that leads into our Foundations of Event Planning Entrepreneurship class. And that one is specific in helping you if you are interested in starting your own event planning business. It is helpful to kind of get that. Oh, thank you, Rose, so much for telling me that. I don't know if it's anyone else. If you could let me know in the chat, if anybody else is having trouble hearing me, please let me know. I really appreciate you telling me that. And sorry, it's been fine for me. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Madison. Thank you, Autumn. Thank you all. So sorry, Ro. It might be like a speaker system, but if you're not able to hear me, we've got those closed captions, and then also the recording will be shared out, and always happy to help chat through any questions you have as well. So sounds like it's all good. So thank you so much, everybody, for letting me know that it's all good on your end. Thank you. I think I went through all the electives, but these are really great ways to explore different parts of the industry that you may not know about or may be curious about, want to learn more about. One of the classes that kind of is like the black sheep, or not the black sheep, like a hidden, I don't know what I'm trying to say. One of the classes that students say afterwards they didn't expect to like so much or didn't know they wanted to go into was fundraising and nonprofit events. So that's actually always a favorite amongst students after they take that class. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that. And we do actually have some questions in the chat. I will, David, thank you for asking. I will go into a little bit more about the CMP exam having recently changed. And he's wondering, has this course been aligned with those changes? Yes, we are going through the approval process right now. So we haven't gotten the full stamp of approval yet, but we are on track to receive it before the start date in March. And then we also have some other questions about electives. So can you take just one elective? Yes. So that's one of the great things about this new format is that you can take just one class. If you just want to take one class, you can take one class. If you want the full certificate, though, that's where you have to take all of those core courses as well as 5 electives, and then the practicum as well, which I'll get to on the next slide. Ooh, good question. So another question here in the Q&A came in, how much current technology is included in the classes, like AI? So our instructor for that event technology, the virtual and hybrid events and event technology is, she's called the Event Tech Whisperer. So she knows so much about event technology and technology in general, goes all over my head a lot. So my answer to you would be, it depends on how much you want to learn, because she could tell you probably everything you'd want to learn. But we focus mostly on like introductory, basic level technology. AI is something where it's here to stay. It's all around. Everybody's using it. I love it. It is something where as a student, we allow you to use ChatGPT AI as a tool. So it's not something where you could just turn in your work with ChatGPT. That's not allowed. You still have to produce original work, but you are allowed to use it. And I think Tess is the name of our instructor. I think she also goes into how to use AI or ChatGPT as an event planner and how that can benefit you. And if I had to guess, we probably have some other instructors that can talk about that as well. All right. Thank you for asking those questions. So, on here on the screen, I do see some more questions coming in, but I do want to go through, make sure we get through the slides. So I'll save some for the end. Our classes, again, are live online on Zoom Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. So that's about 6 hours. Each course, so remember there are 11 courses. Each course you'll have on Tuesday and Thursday, 6 to 9 p.m. And then you're going to have an assignment you've got to complete. So each course, you're probably going to need to commit 8 to 10 hours. That includes those 6 hours of live instruction in Zoom, and then between 2 to 4 hours on assignments. So that, I think Caitlin, who asked that in the chat, that's how long each course is. It's about 8 to 10 hours. And then finally, for completing the certificate, we do have something known as a practicum. What that is really just practicing, applying what you're learning. So the practicum includes a capstone project along with networking opportunities through either volunteering or conducting informational interviews. So I'll dive into depth with this if you enroll, but really what the capstone project is, it involves designing a hypothetical event. You actually will have, as part of the core courses, required courses, you'll be working weekly on your capstone project. So your homework for those first courses is actually going to be different elements of your capstone. So you'll submit those each week and get instructor feedback. I usually tell students the sky's the limit when it comes to this project. Create or design the event you've always dreamed of with any budget that you want. Again, it's a really great way to apply what you're learning, get expert feedback along the way, and then have a final portfolio piece that you can show off. The other side or other piece of our practicum is the networking and real world experience. And that can come in the form of volunteering, 10 hours in the industry. Those volunteer hours can be in person, they can be virtual, but it's got to be something where you are getting some real experience in the industry in some way, in some event capacity, whether it's registration, setup, tear down, all of those things. I do have some connections, and over the years, I've built up a list of different opportunities that students can take part in as part of our program. So I share out a list with students, but I also encourage them to find opportunities themselves. Other students will share opportunities that I also share out. So you're not alone there. I know for some students, this can feel nerve-wracking. Don't want you to feel nervous. If you're like, I don't know anybody, I just moved to Charlotte, totally fine. I'm happy to help you find something. So don't want that to be a barrier for those interested in taking the program. Actually, some of our past students have gotten jobs working as part of their volunteer hours. So that is one option. So you've got the capstone, and then you have volunteer or the LinkedIn assignment. So the LinkedIn assignment is a different way to help build your network, and it helps you build up your professional presence on LinkedIn. So this, again, you've got a whole, don't want you to feel intimidated by that either, a whole step-by-step guide of how to set up your LinkedIn account, connect with people, and then other part of it is to connect with somebody in the industry that you admire, want to learn more about their job, how they got to where they are, what the day-to-day experience is like. So that's what that LinkedIn assignment / informational interview is. So those two options, volunteer or LinkedIn, is just another way to get that real world experience. And yes, Kathy, so thank you for asking. So Kathy asked, I live in Georgia. Am I eligible for this program? Yes, you definitely are. I'm not sure if you mean the program itself, like the whole certificate, or volunteering, but the answer is yes to both. I depends on where you live in Georgia. I'm like, I don't know anybody in Georgia, but actually Tess, our technology instructor, lives in Atlanta. So I'm like, she might have connections if you do need some volunteer experience. So I will say most of my volunteer connections are in the Charlotte area. However, yeah, you're welcome, Kathy. However, again, happy to help you find something wherever you are. And honestly, whether it be virtual or in person, no difference in out of state or in state tuition. It's the same price, whether you're here or honestly in India. We actually had a student join from India last semester. So same price regardless of where you are. Let's see here. So there is another question in the Q&A I will get to in a little bit. You're welcome. Just wanted to go over, honestly, just share the history of our program. Our program has been around for 27 years. We started in 1999. I know I've covered a lot so far, but I did want to just take a moment here to pause and talk about why students choose our program. So again, we have a well-established program in the Charlotte area. And this year with our updated, more flexible structure helps build on that foundation. Our classes are all live and interactive. So you're going to be learning in real time from instructors and peers, very similar to this, rather than watching pre-recorded content. So for those who appreciate and like that live interaction, this is going to be a great way for you to do that. There's also some flexibility. Now with those individual enrollments, you can pay as you go. So again, you can take courses one at a time, pay as you go, instead of committing to everything up front. Last but not least, you're going to be learning from instructors who bring real world industry experience into the classroom, and their curriculum that they cover, the topics they cover, gives you exposure to a wide range of event types. So you're not locked into a single niche too early. It's really a broad and I'd say holistic overview of what the events industry is like. And Maya asked, are there any prerequisites? There are not. So you are not required to work in the industry already. You never have had to plan an event or even attend an event to take our program. Although that would be really interesting. If you've never attended an event, let me know. That's pretty amazing. But no, there are no prerequisites. Thank you for asking. And then there was a question. I don't know if I covered this yet. I don't think I did. So a question, are you able to miss a class and view a recording? You are not. So the one thing about our Zoom sessions being live, we do record them, but those are more for your own review later. They can't replace you being in that class, unfortunately. So as part of this new setup, you are required to be in the Zoom classes from 6 to 9 p.m., as well as completing those homework assignments. So on the screen now, again, I won't go into in-depth detail here. Our entire schedule is online, but our program kicks off soon. We start on March 5th and we run until June 16th. There are no classes the first full week of April there, but each class, as you see it here, like March 5th, that's going to be our orientation, but your first real instructor-led class, so to speak, is going to be on March 10th. So anytime you see a Tuesday, Thursday, that's going to be the same class all week long. Again, our schedule is available online, so I won't go into too much depth here. All right, I do see. Ooh, good question. Felicia had a question. I'm currently a student at CPCC and an intern at CPCC Harris Conference Center in hospitality and event planning. Can any of those hours be used for this as well? No, but that would be super exciting. I'm somebody who been in education for 10 years, and I'm like, I would love to have, short answer is no. I would love to have it personally though, because I know how beneficial that can be to students. To have those credits transferred. This is a non-credit program, so it doesn't offer any academic credit. Instead, it is a certificate-based program that offers CEUs. But gosh, Felicia, I would love that. I would love love to offer that. Maybe down the line. There are some more questions. I will get into few more details that I think should address your questions. So I'm going to go back to my slides and then I'll come back to your questions. I won't forget about you, Jenna and Autumn. So I did want to go into our instructors. Without them, we wouldn't have a program. And honestly, one thing that we hear over and over from past students is just how much they value our instructors in this program. So every instructor you work with is actively working in the industry. So they're not just teaching theory, they're actually bringing real world current experience into the virtual classroom. They bring a wealth, many years of experience. Many of them have industry certifications and credentials. Several have received awards for the work that they've done. And instructors for this program are chosen not only for their expertise, but also for their teaching abilities. So above all, they are genuinely invested in your success, just because this is their industry. They're in the events industry. So they've chosen to teach to create a positive impact on the industry. And like me, they truly care about your performance in the program and achievements thereafter. So depending on the courses you choose to take, you'll work with different instructors. So that 8 to 10 hours you're spending, that's going to be with one instructor, and then you'll have a new instructor. So we have 11? No, we have 12 instructors across the board. So depending on which one you work with, you'll have, either way, you'll have access to their full bios and contact information. So you can learn who you're learning from and how to stay connected with them. Okay. I do see some more questions here, a little more specific. I will come back to those, y'all. I'm almost done with all the slides, but I want to answer your questions. So give me just a few more moments, but thank you for having them come in. I just wanted to go over what you learn as part of our full certificate program. I won't read through every item here, but this just gives you a snapshot of the type of skills and experience that students build across our program. So you'll dive into designing, experiencing, managing logistics like site selection and event flow. Depending on the courses that you choose, you'll also gain exposure to areas like fundraising, weddings, large-scale events, marketing, and promotion. So the goal with the full program is to not only understand how events work, but also to feel confident when applying these skills across different event types and professional settings. So here is our attendance and participation requirements here. So students choose which courses they want to enroll in and when. Once you're enrolled, all Zoom sessions must be attended. So you must be in class Tuesday, Thursday night, 6 to 9 p.m. All your assignments must be completed as well. And courses are offered once a year. So if you don't complete them this year, you'll have to complete them or take them next year. And then I apologize that this is really blurry. Once you've fulfilled all requirements, you'll receive your meeting and event planning certificate and Credly badge upon completion of the program. So this Credly badge here, which is clear, that's going to be something that you can put on your LinkedIn account, other social media, your email signature. And then your certificate is actually going to be UNC Charlotte Certificate. And again, I apologize. I'm so embarrassed. This is blurry. I swear I checked this before starting, so I don't know what happened. But that covers that. So I know there are more questions that have come in. Okay, I answered your question, Felicia, I believe, about unfortunately, we can't count hours from CPCC. Autumn has asked, I'm working a conference on March 5th, so would miss the orientation, but would be able to take the actual classes. So no, it would not be terrible to miss the March 5th session. I mean, I would be sad to not have you there, but that's totally fine. What I'm planning to do is I'm planning to do a pre-recorded orientation and then a live Q&A for those who want to or can attend during that time. So Autumn, if that's the only thing that's holding you back from enrolling, don't worry about it. It's not terrible to miss that March 5th session. A lot of what I'm going to be covering that night is what I'm covering here. So don't want that to discourage you. And Amelia has a good question here. Amelia has asked, I work for events at the university. Would the hours that I'm doing working at the event count for volunteer hours? Usually not. So that was something I meant to share, is that the volunteer opportunity is to help expand and build your networks and get some experience in things or places you haven't had experience in previously. So a lot of times it doesn't count. However, if there are caveats or like certain circumstances where you're like, yeah, but I don't really do this all the time, let me know. We can work something out. But the intention is to have you fulfill that volunteer experience outside of what you normally do. Let's see. Oh, goodness. There's a lot coming through. All right. The certificate, Christina has asked, how long is the certificate valid for? No expiration date as far as that is concerned. I know, like certifications, for example, require you to get recertified each year. They require you to take a certain number of educational hours to maintain certified. Our program's a little different, and I will dive into that in a little bit, but there's no expiration as far as your certificate is concerned. Olivia has asked, has said, I'm a full-time student at UNCC, worried about finding the time to get the certificate while also working to get my degree as well. Is this a concern you can address? So Olivia, I would say to you, do the best you can. With this new format of courses, I think it might be a little easier for you, where you can look at your class schedule this spring, see what aligns with our course schedule, because it is a little different than the academic schedule, but see what you might be able to fit in. And honestly, see if it's something you can manage. So again, for each individual course, you'd be dedicating 8 to 10 hours per week. That 8 to 10 hours, it's just 6 hours sitting in the Zoom, but 2 to 4 hours on homework. All right, y'all. I do see some more questions that have come in, but I know we are 6:44. I do want to get through cost and registration questions. And I think I'm only 2 or 3 slides away from the Q&A. So I will get to your questions. Please hang tight, and thank you for your patience. But wanted to go over the cost. So each course is $275. We do offer a discount if you register and pay for all courses at once. So that price for all courses to earn the certificate is $2,571.25. That would save you over $450 versus doing each course individually. You can register online. Our web address is right there, continuinged.charlotte.edu/MEP, or you can register by calling our enrollment team. We also have discounts, payment options, and scholarships available, and spots are limited. And I did see a question about how many spots are available, so I'll answer that in a second. But wanted to share information about our discounts and payment options. So we have a 5% early bird discount that ends 30 days prior to each course's start date. So for our first course, which is that practicum, which includes the orientation on March 5th, the deadline, I believe, it's early February. I think it's the 7th or 8th. Don't misquote, don't quote me, but I believe it's right at the beginning of February to get that discount. But each individual course has its own early bird deadline. So wanted to share that for UNC Charlotte alumni. We have a 10% discount. And then I saw somebody who is a UNC Charlotte faculty staff member. If you're a full-time faculty staff member, permanent full-time, we do offer a 20% discount as well. Payment options include that bundle and save discount of 15%. Also, you can pay as you go. So just you pay for one course, take it, pay for another, take it. We also accept employer or employment payment loans, as well as NC Works and WIOA or WIOA for those who are unemployed or underemployed. So if you do have any kind of payment or discount related questions, our enrollment team is the best place for that. They can definitely help with any questions you have. Their phone number is on the screen, as well as their email address. Another thing I wanted to share is a scholarship opportunity, or actually 2 scholarship opportunities. So there are scholarships specifically for this program. Laura J. Campbell scholarship. She actually used to be an instructor in our program, who unfortunately passed away, but her former employer, and her family gave a donation to the university to fund these scholarships. So it's an honor to have the scholarship in Laura J. Campbell's name. That is one. Ann Spahala scholarship is another one. The award amount is $1,000. So that's a pretty big dent in the full cost of the program. On the screen, you can see the QR code here. You can scan that to find out more information about the scholarships. One thing I do want to mention is it is open to students who are enrolled in the full certificate program. So in order to be eligible for this scholarship, you will have been enrolled in all 11 courses in the program. So application deadline is coming up pretty soon, February 27th. And then recipients are notified March 20th. That is after the program begins. But if you're already enrolled, well, you have to be enrolled for the scholarship. If you're awarded the scholarship, then any amount you've paid after or over that amount would be refunded to you. So just wanted to let you all know this is a little different than the past, but awards will be applied to your account after the program begins. I do see more coming through, so I will get to those, I promise y'all. Might actually answer some of them as well as part of our slides, but special discount. So for all of you who've attended live, not only is it great to see you here, and weirdly, cosmically, we have 49 participants, which is really cool in UNC Charlotte land. But because you are all here live, one of you is going to be randomly selected to receive a 10% discount off the cost of each course. And I see some questions, if you can stack discounts or if you qualify for multiple. Unfortunately not. It is just the highest discount or highest scholarship amount that you can apply. But as part of attending live, you'll have an opportunity to get 10% off. So it's not something I do live. I will do it randomly, I promise, but keep an eye on your email and phone number that you use to register. Within the next few days, I'll be reaching out. Okay. I am loving all these questions on them. Frequently asked questions. Okay. So, do I need prior event planning experience? No, you do not. So the program's designed to lay a great foundation for those new to the industry, but it can also benefit those who are already in the industry. How much time do I need to spend each week? About 8 to 10 hours. Can I take just one course? Yeah, you can. You can take anywhere from 1 to 12 courses. Another frequently asked question related to the program is what happens if I need to pause between courses. That's totally fine. With this new flexible format, you can take as many courses as you can or as you are able to this year, and then come back next year to finish. And then there were some questions about these certifications. So our program, certificates versus certifications, those are actually two different things, even though they sound similar, and certification sounds like a fancier way to say certificates. What you earn as part of our program is a certificate. So by completing our program, you would get a UNC Charlotte meeting and event planning certificate. For a certification, that is like an industry specific credential that usually requires some sort of exam as well as eligibility requirements. So we don't offer a certification, but our program does fulfill the educational requirements to sit for certifications. And I have a whole extensive list of all the certifications that are in the events industry that I share out with students. Happy to help at any point if you have questions, to help point you in the right direction, to kind of fill in the blanks when it comes to certificates versus certifications. And there was a question about the changes in the CMP certification. Yes, our program will be aligned this year with those new changes. So stay tuned. It'll be appearing on our website very soon. Where can this certificate take you? So corporate meetings, conferences, nonprofit and fundraising events, weddings and social events, hospitality, venues, hotels, entrepreneurship, and event businesses. So job titles vary widely in the field, but the skills you can apply, or I'm sorry, build here can apply to many different environments. All right, y'all. The time we've all been waiting for, and thank you for hanging tight here. Jenna asked, is there a deadline to sign up? So there is. Our first class, again, that's orientation. That is going to be optional. So the deadline to sign up for a true, authentic, like Zoom class is going to be, as long as there's space available, is going to be, I believe, 4 p.m. The day of class, so March 10th. So as long as we still have space available, you can sign up for that class on the day of. However, I know my planners, I know you all, that gives me anxiety to think about for you. But so I would definitely encourage you to sign up at least a month in advance. That way you're going into things prepared. You know how to get logged into Canvas, our online learning system, and you're not kind of rushed or scrambling on the day of class. So I would say with the first class starting March 10th, I would aim to sign up by February 10th, and you're kind of still in that area to get the early bird discount as well. How many spots are available? Oh, there are actually a few questions there. So there are, I'm trying to think of how many we have. I think it's 40. So there's a max of 40 students in class. We're not filled. We actually, trying to think if we filled recently. I don't remember the last time we filled. However, I wouldn't have that stop you. Again, it's more about being prepared, making sure you have everything to be set up and successful on night one of class. So with that number of 40, it is big, but it really does still allow you to have some good interaction with the instructor at that number. Question about the CMP. So will this qualify you to take the CMP exam if you're new to the industry? So probably not. So with the CMP, they usually require some sort of experience actually doing the work, working in the field. And I believe, I might be confusing it with other certifications. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I think it might be 3 years experience in the industry. I would direct you to go to the EIC website, Events Industry Council website. They're the ones who have the CMP exam. You'll get the most up-to-date information. But if that is something you're interested in and it's a long-term goal, this could be a great program to help you get exposure to the industry, learn about the industry, and then get into the industry, and then you can go on if you qualify to sit for that exam. All right, we have some great questions coming through here, and I apologize. I hope to get to them all. Well, hang on if you can, I will get through them all, but I know for those of you, you may have to log off. You might have kiddos or something. Let's see here. Full-time student. Okay. There is a question about the program helping students connect with employers in the event planning industry. So we don't have like a formal job placement program, but as part of UNC Charlotte, they do have different career fairs. So there are industry specific career fairs that honestly anybody can participate in. They're actually open to the public, which I don't think a lot of people know, but that could be one way. Another way is going to be as part of that volunteer experience. So our instructors have their own businesses and they also are seeking volunteers. So that could be one way to connect. Another way would be through honestly just volunteering through those other avenues that I'll share in the class as well. So there's not like a formal job placement, more informal, and especially if employers reach out to me, I will share those job opportunities with students. Okay, Latoy, I think I answered that question about scholarships. What if you have a business and event planning that will count for volunteer hours? I'd be curious to hear more about that. I think it's Desi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'd be curious to hear more about that. I'd like to hear what you do day to day and what you'd have in mind for those volunteer hours to make them count. Ooh, okay. Judy has a question. Does the program cover the standard forms, contracts, and technology tools commonly used in the industry and food and beverage planning? Yes. So honestly, what you cover or what you've asked in your question, I think spans a few different courses. Contracts is going to be contracts and risk management, but also maybe the hotel class. Technology tools, it's probably going to be covered in every class nearly, but also our, of course, events technology class. And then the forms, think you might mean like the BEO, those kind of forms you might get in the hospitality industry. Yes. So those are covered. I don't know how in depth they are. I'm not the subject matter expert, but if you have more specific questions, Judy, that I'm not able to answer here, our instructors obviously are in the industry doing the work. They are able to help answer that for you. Our hotel instructor comes to mind most because she has so much experience in the hospitality industry that I think she'd be able to help answer that for us a little better. No discount if you're paying a student's tuition at UNCC, unfortunately. That would be great. That you deserve it, Danielle, but unfortunately not. Another question, when does registration open close? I think I answered that. Registration is open now and it closes right before the class begins, but don't wait that long. I don't want you rushing on the last day. And Amelia asked if you can basically stack discounts. You can. It would be whatever discount is highest. You do not. So Lorraine had a question. Do you have to do the bundle payment to be able to apply for the scholarships? Essentially, yes, because you'd have to pay for all of the 11 courses. And honestly, the best deal for that is the bundle price. For the pay-as-you-go option, unfortunately, you would not be eligible for the scholarship. So hope that answered that question for you. I know it's probably not the answer you wanted to hear, but that is kind of how it works now. Answered the question about slots available. Is the employer pay information on the UNC site? Andrea, I don't think so. However, let me go to the next screen here. Our enrollment specialists have all of that information. They have a lot of great details about employer pay. So on the screen right now, you'll see my contact information, but also our enrollment specialist contact information. So they're going to be the best people to reach out to regarding an employer pay question. You can email them, call them. You can also schedule a phone call with them through something called Calendly. So you just schedule a meeting to have them call you. A few more questions have come through here, and thank you all. I know it's 7 o'clock. If you have to drop off, I understand. Please write down my contact information. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you being here with us. Stay warm. I am going to hang on for those who have asked questions. I think I am at Olivia. So, is there an add drop period? There is not. So Olivia has asked if I'm someone who wants to take or who will take a few classes at a time. I'm trying to gauge if I end up taking fewer classes and want to take more, if that's possible. Yes. However, there's not an add drop period like there is in like the academic space where like you start a class and then you can drop it. We don't have that here. So once you have started a class, you aren't eligible for a refund. You're not able to drop. Extenuating circumstances, that is different, of course. But there is no technical add drop period here, and there are some late cancellation penalties as well. Let's see. Amber says, my only concern is being out of town the first week of classes. Missing those 2 classes would hold me back from applying. Oh, I understand. Oh, yeah. And I think you mean applying for the scholarship. Correct me if I'm wrong, Amber, but yeah, you're exactly right, unfortunately. Send me an email because I'm curious, like when you say the first week of classes, which one you mean. That way I can understand it clearly and we can talk more specifically. Desi, yes, you will only get a certificate if you do all 11 courses. That has not changed. Our entire program previously was 11 courses. This year it's different where you could take one at a time. So that hasn't changed as far as earning the certificate is concerned. There is not another payment plan other than pay per class, but we do have those. We do accept loans. Let me see if I can go back to it. Oh, sorry, y'all. There we go. We do accept loans. If anybody is either unemployed or underemployed, WIOA or WIOA through NC Works also pays for educational training as well as help with job placement, employer pay. But the 2 payment options are paying for 1 course at a time or paying for all of them at the same time and getting a discount. Okay. Yes, Lorraine had a question. If you register for the bundle, are you granted a spot with classes? Yes. If you still see that the classes are available, that means you have a spot once you register. So there's not a way you'd be able to register and not have a spot in class. Oh, great question. So we do only offer courses once a year. So the next ones that we would have scheduled are spring of 2027. So, yeah, unfortunately it would be a situation where you may have to wait a year to finish up, but we do allow you up to 2 years to complete the program. Kathy, you may have missed the deadline for the early bird discount, but it's 30 days prior to each course's start date. Max number of classes that can be missed. I am curious, Ro, we don't allow any absences in the classes, so you wouldn't be able to miss any classes. I think that's your question. If your question is more, what classes can I miss this year and take up next year? You can do 1 this year and 10 next year. There's no limit there, but you do have to be in class each night that you're enrolled. Yeah. Felicia asked, can my volunteer hours be completed at CPCC Harris Conference Center? I think it depends on whether you work there normally. If there are more specific, I guess, examples or situations, that's something where like, I've done it before. I'll talk with students, get a better understanding one-on-one, and then say like, yes, that qualifies, or no, it doesn't. Let's look at these avenues. EIC website. What's the certificate look like? It's beautiful. No. So the certificate says UNC Charlotte School of Professional Studies. It'll have your name. It'll have the award date of the certificate. It is a digital certificate, so you'll get it via email. I believe the next morning after all of the grades are entered. And then if you want a physical certificate, you could print that out on some nice paper and frame it. Oh, Latoy. Yes, thank you. Okay, I see people. Great information. Want to make sure I'm not missing any other questions. Michelle had a question here. Will different industry certifications be discussed in any of the classes? And which would be right based on experience, plan, corporate versus wedding. So I had a slide here. I hit it just because I knew I would run out of time. But there are three big certifications, and I do have a full, I don't know, 6 or 7 page list of all the different certifications that you can get in the industry with details. So that's something I share out with students after they are enrolled. Something I'm happy to chat to them about. And a lot of the names and a lot of the different certifications are going to tell you exactly what part of the industry that they are, I guess, geared towards. Let me see. Since I'm sharing my screen, let me just see if I can go ahead. If y'all don't mind. Sorry, let me pull up the, see if I can edit it here. Always seems so much easier in your head. And then you're like, wait, there's a ton of people watching you do this. Okay. Right. Hang tight. I'll have it in just a second. There we go. All right. I'm really hoping you all can see that. Okay, so you can see it, but it's very small text. So this just explains how our program might be able to help you if you want to sit for a certification. For that, the person who asked for the Events Industry Council website, there it is. I'm going to paste it in the chat right now for you. Hopefully you're still on. But the CMP is one of the most well-known certifications. It's pretty standard amongst event professionals, so really can apply broadly. We've got certified special events professional as well as certificate in meeting management, and then some more like niche certifications. So we don't really go in depth during class about the certifications. This list is going to be your best access to it, as well as your instructor. So some of your instructors are CMP certified, some are CE or CSEP certified, some are DES certified. So more specific questions you'll be able to ask them about or go onto the websites to get answers to. And then, CVent. Yes, so we do cover CVent. We do cover CVent as part of our training. It's not like a CVent tutorial. It's going to be pretty high level, but yes, we do cover that as part of the program. Melissa has asked if I register for all sessions and realize I'm going to miss a class in one session. Yes. Can I elect to roll that session over to 2027 because I've already paid? Yes, you can do that. It may not be open for registration yet, but yes, we will definitely work with you. For example, if you do that bundle, something comes up, you're not able to attend a class this year, but you want to do it next year. Yeah, we will definitely work with you on that. Yeah, Maya, unfortunately, if you miss one class, you wouldn't qualify to finish the certificate this year, but that's okay. You'd be able to finish it next year. I know that's kind of a bummer, but with the classes being in Zoom, that's really the biggest way that students can participate. And if you're not able to be in Zoom for that class, there's no way we can have that participation count. Okay. Ooh, okay, Judy has a question about enrolling and paying for a single course. Send me an email, Judy. I would be okay with that. I don't want to answer that because that's more of an enrollment team question. They kind of handle the refunds and all of that kind of stuff. So please send me an email and I can either connect you with our enrollment team or I'll connect with them to get clarity on that as well, because I don't want to answer that and have it not follow under our policy. So Nicole says, once graduated, can I have a CMP designation after my name? Not as part of our program. However, if you do have events experience, take our program for the educational requirement, and then go to sit for the CMP exam, yes, that's when you can have that designation after your name. Michelle asked if we could have, if there's plans to add fall sessions in the near future. Yes, there have been discussions about that. However, nothing is in place currently. So I'd hate to tell you yes and then that not happen. But if there is significant demand for it, then yes, we would add fall sessions. Okay, I'm hoping I got to everybody's questions here. Checking, I'm just kind of scrolling back up through our chat. Oh, maybe a new message. Yeah, so loans, it would be a private third party loan, but we do accept private loans to help pay for the program. If you want more details about lenders and all of that information, our enrollment specialists are going to be the best people to reach out to about that. Yeah. Amanda asks, could you explain again the practicum capstone project or reshare that slide? Yes, I'm happy to do that. And we will also be resharing, we'll share the video, but also these slides so you can review them as well. So there we go. So the capstone, again, that's going to be you planning a hypothetical event from start to finish. With the full certificate, so with you starting with our first class, you'll actually complete, I think, 5 or 6 different elements of the capstone as part of those first 5 or 6 classes. So it's going to be creating the budget for your event. Well, first of all, determining what type of event you want to plan, but then creating a budget, creating a guest list. If it's a public event, marketing your event. If you are doing a fundraising event, getting donations. So it's really holistic. It's like how you would plan an event from start to finish. But it's done in chunks. It's broken down into different pieces that you'd submit along the way for review and feedback by your expert instructors. So I hope that answers your question, Amanda. If you have further questions and are like, hey, I just want to see what it entails, I'm happy to share the instructions with you just so you can wrap your head around it and see if it's of interest to you. Let's see. Okay, I did ask that, or I answered that, Michelle, about the different certifications. And I'm hoping that answered everything. Thank you all so much for hanging on. I will hang back again if there are any further questions. But again, it was so lovely to have you all here.